Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Doom Patrol Season 4, Episode 1, Doom Patrol. It's funny how it's titled that. So, the funny, wacky, crazy show has finally returned, and it's one of my all-time favorites. I love the first two seasons. I did not care for the third whatsoever. And I still don't understand why Madame Rouge is on the team for it, and she's supposed to be a villain. And she's so different than what we know of her from comics and cartoons and stuff like that. And so, with the ending of season 3, I was wondering how in the world they're gonna write themselves out of it in season 4. Are they just gonna give us 1 or 2 episodes quickly explaining the events of season 3 and then move on to the next season? Yes, they did, but they did it off camera. I am disappointed. I wanted to see what the world, how they was going to do all this stuff instead of be told it. Season 4, however, the first episode is very good. It's very interesting. It's very well written and acted. I really enjoyed the way they told the story in this first episode. First, through the point of view of that of Jane as that doctor psychiatrist lady. I really enjoyed that character. I hate they got rid of her so quickly and went back to Jane. I like Jane, but I really found this doctor lady to be interesting. And they got rid of her just like that. I hate when they do that. And so, how did they get themselves out of the bind of that, of the ending of season 3? Well, what happened at the ending of season 3? At the end of season 3, Cliff's body has been transferred into the giant robot destroying machine. They have so-called defeated the bad guys who really weren't all that bad. Cliff's original body got smushed and there was some bad stuff happening. So the team has decided, hey, let's finally form the Doom Patrol team. And so they did, led by Rita. Madame Rouge has joined them, but they have no way to get where they need to go. So they're like, hey, let's just use the time machine. But there's a problem. It erases their memories. So they put their name on a tag, put it on their shirts, and then they went to go stop the bad guys, and it ended. So also Vic is no longer has his technology on him. So he's fully looking human and all this stuff. And Jane is now stuck in the underworld because the new primary is the doctor lady. And as we all know, Cliff has Parkinson's disease and all this other stuff. And so Cliff's brain is now in the giant robot. They're about to use the time travel machine to travel to where they have to go. There's like a car and everything. So it's kind of like, how are they going to write themselves out that pickle? Well, they did it off screen. When we see them, we see Cliff has his old body, but is missing his arm. Vic is still human looking. The doctor is still inside Jane. And Madame Rouge and Rita don't like each other. But they have formed the Doom Patrol. But they don't wear costumes. They just wear their regular clothes. Oh, I keep forgetting about Larry. Larry now has the baby thing inside him named Keeg and everything because the other thing left his body and he's able to fly now. And so now they have fully formed the Doom Patrol and everything, just no costumes. And they wear their regular civilian clothes and the ladies fight in high heels, which is stupid. But it's cool to see them finally take charge and be the heroes. They're fighting somebody. I don't know his name. He's a guy with a little bit of tech on him and a giant metal penis. And he shoots laser beams out of it. Oh, Doom Patrol. So Rita has her plan of attack and they go to fight, but they're scattered in that scattered brain. They act just like their goofy selves. Needless to say, even though they have finally, after 4 seasons, finally formed their superhero team, they're still as pathetic as always. And so we rarely see them fight him, and he takes them out with ease. Dr. Jane lady, I forget her name. I'm calling her Dr. Jane. She runs in fear and cower and everything. And then Madame Rouge. Oh, I forgot to mention. they ripped off the head of the giant robot machine that Cliff was on, and they attached the time machine thing to it. Somehow off screen, they reconfigured it, so they used that as a travel like vehicle. Also, but what about the time travel mind memory loss thing? Well, somehow they figure out jellyfish. You put it on your head, and that makes you retain your memories. How did they figure that out? It's never explained. It happens off screen. I don't like that. That is just a stupid halfway of like explaining something. They should have showed us. Hopefully they will show us in the rest of like, the season. But they put jellyfishes on their heads and they're fine. But Madame Rouge, for whatever reason, does not want it. So she's always losing her memory and this and that. And so Vic, he's the only member on the team Rita would not allow to fight because he is fully, he's not fully human, but he looks human and he has this organic tech type stuff in him, but he doesn't have his hardware tech. And so she will not let him fight, and he's the IT guy. And so the rest of the team, Larry can barely fly and crashes into like a building. Cliff can barely move his body at times. Rita's getting her butt kicked and everything. She's doing more of the stretchy arm thing. And also they use their superhero names from the comics. So it's great to hear their names. Although Cliff does not like his name. And Madame Rouge is not called Madame Rouge. Rita has given her an awful name because she hates her and everything. But now they call Jane Crazy Jane now. And, Larry's now Negative Man, and Rita's Elastic Girl, and Cliff is Robot Man. But they still call Vic Cyborg, even though he's really not. So when Vic is talking to the other IT guy of the bad guy, he tells him, hey, look, man, just because we're IT people don't mean we're not important. We're part of the team and everything. And so that makes the IT guy happy. He turns around, he bends over, and his butt has a bazooka coming out of it. And he tries to blast what's his name, but Rita stops him. It's funny seeing Rita grab the metal penis of the one dude and the metal bazooka butt of the bazooka butt man. It's vulgar, but it's funny. It's Doom Patrol. And so how do they save the day? Dr. James saves the day by talking to him in like a counselor type way, and then he gives up. He feels sad and he just gives up. It's a stupid way to end the battle. I don't like that. I want to see them fight. And so I'm just at the point where I'm just going to realize the show is never going to have them fight. It's just going to be wacky and silly. But at least now they're the Doom Patrol, but it would be nice to see a battle, And so when they head back to the manor, they're talking, about the name designations and plan of attacks and stuff like that. And so then we get a future scene. It's set in the future, but we don't know. But we will later find out it's 20 years in the future. There's a man dressed up in some tattered clothes. It looks like a ghost town. And he starts to get attacked. And all of a sudden, he rips off his helmet and it's Vic. His helmet face looks like that of a old school looking cyborg face with bad tech. But it's not even tech, it's just a helmet. And he rips out like a crossbow on his wrist, but it's not inside of him. It's just like a gauntlet glove he puts on. And we don't know exactly who he's fighting. And then so, the Doom Patrol, I forget how or why, but they travel to the future. I forget what leads them to travel to the future. And when they travel to before all that, I forgot. Hold on. Cliff. Cyborg and his dad have been working on Cliff to rebuild, his body. And when they rebuilt his body, he looks exactly the same as he did before. So they didn't improve on that, which really bugs me. And they have an arm for him, but it's a special arm. One of his fingers, or maybe all the fingers, has the ability to have like touch and feel, like sensory type things. So now he can feel things that he touch, and he's happy, he's thrilled, he finally gets to touch stuff. And he has decided in a very touching way, the first thing he wants to touch is his grandson. So he puts an oven mitt on his hand, but the problem is he's touching the oven mitt, so he says it doesn't count. And so like, I don't know what happened or what possessed them to go to the future, but they hop in their little time machine thing and they head to the future. And when they do, they're 20 years into the future. But I forget what sends them there and why they went there. I don't even remember. But anyway, they're 20 years in the future and they are very confused. They don't understand why anything looks the way it does. And so when they're in the future, they are greeted by older Vic. And older Vic tells them to go into the manor, and he tells them, we screwed up and everything. Basically, we screwed up and the world ended. From what? Zombie butts. Remember the butts from last season that got infected, or maybe even a couple of seasons ago? The butt people, and then they turned into zombies. Well, they thought they got rid of them all, but they're one that survived and it infected the entire world. How exactly? We don't know. But he tells them, y'all are all dead. He is the only survivor. But as for Madame Rouge, he has no idea where she's at because she left before all this happened. And all this happened back in the present day from season 4, because she was about to leave because her and Rita cannot get along and she wants to kill Rita. And so she decides she's just going to leave. And so he tells them, you know, all of your ghostly selves are in their room. So they go to talk to him. Rita does not want to talk to her former self at all. And she finally does and everything. And basically, Rita is a failure in everything she does. Acting coach, and being the leader of the superhero team. And so with, what is it? Larry is crawled up in a little ball. Doesn't want to talk to nobody, shivers and all this other stuff. He doesn't understand what's going on. He will not talk to himself. But then the negative spirit, he tells him that, you know, it left us and everything. And we see the adult negative spirit, not the original one, but the baby all grown up, Keeg and everything. So baby Keeg goes up to talk to him. We don't know what happens because, you know, they don't communicate with each other. But then the older one kind of just like disappears and the younger one goes inside Larry. And so as for Cliff tells him, well, first Cliff keeps lying to him, is all like, bruh. He keeps calling himself bruh for some reason. He's like, you don't want to know what happened, man. You don't want to know how you died. And I'll let you know over here right now, you never get to hold your grandson and everything. Cliff is irate. And so as Madame Rouge is like looking at like her journal to figure out what happened and everything and stuff like that, she goes into like the garage and we see young Vic tied up. Older Vic has tied him up. Why? He tells him older Vic is going to steal the time machine. And then we get a scene that happened 45 minutes before they are sent to the future. Older Vic talks to the Ghost Doom Patrol and he tells them, you know, we cannot let our younger selves, like, you know exactly what happened and have them save the day because they'll just screw everything up again. And because they're incompetent and stuff. And then Dr. Jane's all like, maybe if we tell them, they can avert this disastrous future. Then they all bust out laughing along with Dr. Jane. And it's all like, yeah, those idiots can't save the day. And so Vic is going to go back in time and do something. What that something is, we don't know. So they all confront older Vic. And they ask him straight up, you know, what happened? How can we prevent all this? And he's all like, basically, you know, y'all suck and y'all the cause and all this stuff like that. And so he finally tells Cliff how he died. But zombie went inside his head, cracked it open, and ate his brain and everything. But I don't understand if that is true, then how is Ghost Him still able to function? Well, I guess Ghost Him has the consciousness of a regular Cliff or whatever. So anyway, they have decided they're gonna prevent this and they're not taking older Vic. So Madame Rouge pretends to be Vic's father, as because Vic has like turned on the team. Younger one is all like, I'm staying here and everything, and I'm gonna help older Vic fight and everything. And so she distracts them by pretending to be the father, and then Rita grabs younger Vic and puts him in the time machine. Older Vic is like pounding on it, but younger Vic is pissed because he wants to stay there and help and figure out what happened and stuff. So Madame Rouge has finally put jellyfish on her head so she doesn't forget anything. And then they go back into the present. And then older Vic, he wrote something on like the time machine thing, right? And so like can't do this all yourself or something like that. And so now they ponder of, the future and how they're gonna fix it and everything. And Cliff tells himself he's gonna hold his grandson. He don't know what he has to do, but he's gonna prevent the butt apocalypse and everything. And so we see in the underground, the doctor lady, she is mad at Jane. Kate has disappeared in the underground, does not want to be seen. And she tells her, like, Kate ran, because she's pissed because, Kate died, of course, in the zombie butt apocalypse. And she's all like, you should have kept her safe and blah, 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 and stuff like that. Basically, their ghost selves, older selves, kept putting down their younger selves. And so the doctor lady's all like, I don't know how you do it. It's so crazy up there and all this other stuff. And talking about this is probably why you retreated into Kate's memories or Kay's memories, because you just can't deal with the real world. All of a sudden, Dr. Lady disintegrates and younger Kay is there. And she's all like, leave me alone and don't follow me and everything. So I'm assuming Kay killed the Dr. Lady. And so Jane now takes over as primary again. Which, if Jane took over as primary, the future is now being rewritten, because in the future, it is the doctor lady who still had Kay's body for 20 years and stuff. So I am very curious to know what happened. How did the Doom Patrol fail? Rita literally tells them off screen they've been having victory after victory. It would have been nice to see all their wins as the Doom Patrol and stuff. I wish we could see a battle, but I am very invested as to know what the world has happened. The humor is still there, the drama is still there, and it's really curious to see how Vic is gonna act now that he now knows certain things happen in the future. Also, now Madame Rouge has decided to stay with the team, and her and Rita are just gonna have to get along. Also, when did she turn Irish? I don't remember the actress using her real Irish accent in season 3. I thought for sure she was using a fake American one, but now she's fully in her Irish voice. I still don't understand why Madame Rouge is even on the team, because she is supposed to be a villain. And that really bugs me. And the actress, as good as she is, because she was great in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, her character has no personality on this. So I can't wait to watch episode 2. And I hope to God this season will be better than that of season 3. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.